The barbecue was at my sister Jessica's house. Saturday afternoon, June heat, the whole family gathered for my nephew Brandon's 13th birthday. I'd brought a gift. A nice one. Headphones he'd been wanting. $80. Wrapped carefully with a card. Aunt Sarah, Brandon yelled when I arrived. Did you bring me something good? Happy birthday. Open it later. Why later? I want to see it now. Because there are other guests, and your mom said gifts after cake. He rolled his eyes and ran off to join his friends in the backyard. I helped set up, carried food, arranged chairs, filled coolers. Mom sat in the shade giving directions. Jessica bounced between the kitchen and yard, playing hostess. Jessica's husband, Tom, was grilling. Their younger son, 9-year-old Connor, was showing off on the trampoline. Brandon and his 3 friends were by the pool, loud and wild, the way teenage boys are. I'd worn nice clothes, a light blue blouse, white pants. I had my phone in my pocket. It was a casual family party, but I'd come from running errands and hadn't changed. The party was fine at first. Food, conversation, cake. Brandon opened gifts. He tore through mine quickly. Headphones. Cool. Thanks, Aunt Sarah. Not great enthusiasm, but 13-year-olds rarely show excitement for anything from adults. After cake, the boys went back to the pool area. I was helping Jessica clean up the kitchen when we heard shouting and splashing. They're just playing, Jessica said. Boys being boys. Mom was still in her chair, 4th glass of wine in hand, watching everything with that slight smile she got when she was tipsy and feeling superior. I took a stack of paper plates to the outdoor trash. Had to walk past the pool to reach it. Brandon and his friends were playing some kind of game, splashing each other, throwing a ball, the usual pool chaos. I was walking back toward the house when Brandon called out, Aunt Sarah, catch. I turned. He was holding a large plastic cup, the red kind, a solo cup, filled with pool water. Before I could react, he threw it. Not tossed. Not accidentally spilled. Threw the contents directly at me. The water hit my chest, my face, my hair. Cold pool water, probably chlorinated, definitely dirty from teenage boys playing in it all afternoon. It soaked my blouse and my white pants. My phone in my pocket started buzzing with an emergency moisture alert. I stood there, dripping, pool water running down my face, clothes stuck to me, hair plastered to my head. Brandon and his friends were laughing, loud, obnoxious teenage boy laughter. Oops, Brandon said, grinning. Not sorry, not embarrassed. Proud. His friends high-fived him. I looked at Jessica, who had come outside. She was trying not to smile. I looked at Tom, who had turned from the grill. He shook his head, but didn't say anything. I looked at Mom. She was laughing, full, genuine laughter, like she'd just seen the funniest thing all day. Brandon, I said, my voice steady. That wasn't funny. It was just water, Aunt Sarah. Don't be so serious. You threw water on me, deliberately. It was an accident. You said catch and then threw water at me. That's not an accident. The friends were still snickering. One was filming on his phone. Mom, I said, looking at Jessica, are you going to say something? Jessica glanced at Brandon, his friends, and then at Mom. Boys, maybe calm down a little. Maybe calm down? Sarah, it's a pool party. People get wet. I wasn't in the pool. I was walking by. Brandon deliberately threw water on me. He's 13. He was playing around. I turned to Mom. You're just going to sit there? What do you want me to do? He's a kid at a pool party. I want you to tell your grandson that throwing water on people isn't acceptable. Mom took a sip of wine. Sarah, honey, it's just water. Lighten up. You're being dramatic. I'm soaking wet. My phone might be ruined. He did it on purpose, and he's not even sorry. It'll dry. Phones are waterproof now. And he said it was an accident. He said oops while laughing. Mom smirked. Actually smirked. You always were too sensitive. It's a party. Learn to take a joke. Brandon was watching this, learning that throwing water on people had no consequences. His friends were still snickering. Connor had come over to watch the drama. Tom finally spoke. Brandon, maybe apologize. I said oops. A real apology. Brandon sighed dramatically. Sorry you can't take a joke, Aunt Sarah. More laughter from his friends. Teach him some manners, I said to Mom, to Jessica, to anyone. It's just water, Jessica repeated. You're making a big deal out of nothing. It's assault, actually, throwing something at someone without consent. Oh, please, Mom said. Assault? You're going to call the police over pool water? I'm saying that teaching your grandson he can throw things at people and face no consequences is bad parenting. Don't tell me how to parent, Jessica snapped. Don't throw water on me, I snapped back. I walked to my car, dripping. My white pants now see-through, my blue blouse stuck to me, my hair dripping down my back. Nobody apologized. Nobody followed me. Nobody said Brandon was wrong. I heard Mom laughing as I drove away. At home, I stripped off the wet clothes. My phone was in SOS mode, moisture in the charging port. My white pants were probably ruined. My blouse would need special cleaning. But I was angrier about the principle than the damage. Brandon had thrown water on me. Mom had laughed. Jessica had dismissed it. Tom had been useless. And they'd all made me feel like I was the problem for being upset. I changed into dry clothes and opened my laptop. 4 years ago, Mom had asked me to co-sign her home equity loan. Just for the application, she'd said, "My income alone isn't enough, but with your salary, we'll get approved. You won't be responsible for payments, just a signature." I'd signed, because she was my mother, because she said it was just paperwork. The loan was for $75,000. Home improvements, she'd said. Updating the house before retirement. She made payments for 6 months. Then she called, saying she'd lost her part-time job. Could I help? Just temporarily? I'd been helping for 3.5 years. Making the monthly payment of $620. 37 months, $22,940. Plus the times she'd been short. The emergency repairs, the property tax help. Probably another $8,000. $30,000, give or take. Money I'd poured into Mom's loan while she drank wine at pool parties and laughed at her grandson throwing water on me. I pulled up the loan documents and read through the co-signer agreement. I could request removal as co-signer under several conditions. One was if I no longer wished to guarantee the debt. Another was if I had reason to believe the primary borrower was not acting in good faith. I drafted an email to the loan officer, Marcus Webb, who had handled the original loan. Mr. Webb, I am writing to request immediate removal as co-signer on loan account ending in 7392. As co-signer, I have been making payments for 37 months while the primary borrower has not met her obligations. I no longer wish to guarantee this debt. Please process my removal and notify the primary borrower that she will need to refinance in her name only or establish a payment history sufficient to continue the loan without a co-signer. Sincerely, Sarah Mitchell. I hit send. Then I set up a call for Monday morning. That evening, Jessica texted, "You really left in a huff over some water?" I didn't respond. Mom texted, "Don't be mad. Brandon was just playing. You're always so serious." I didn't respond. Brandon's friend posted the video on social media. Me getting drenched, Brandon saying, "Oops," everyone laughing. Caption, "When your aunt can't take a joke." I reported it, then blocked all of them. Monday morning at 9, I called Marcus Webb. "Ms. Mitchell, I got your email. I need to inform you that removing a co-signer isn't immediate. There's a process." "I understand. I want to start that process." The primary borrower will need to qualify for the loan on her own income, refinance with a different co-signer, or pay off the loan. How long does she have? We'll send notification immediately. She'll have 30 days to respond with a plan. If she can't qualify independently, she'll need to refinance elsewhere or sell the property to pay off the loan. And the payments I've been making? Those will need to continue until she's removed from the loan or establishes independent payment history, unless you stop paying, in which case the loan goes into default. If it goes into default, we pursue both of you for the balance, but as co-signer, you'd have recourse to sue the primary borrower for any amounts you paid. I want to stop being legally tied to this loan. Understood. I'll process the request today. Your mother will receive notification by Wednesday. Thank you. Wednesday afternoon, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. "Sarah, I got a letter from the bank. Call me immediately." Jessica called. "What did you do?" "Mom is freaking out about some loan thing." I didn't answer. Tom called. "Sarah, can we talk? Mom says you're trying to take her house." I texted back, "I'm removing myself as co-signer on a loan I've been paying for 3 years. She can handle it herself now." Mom called again. "Sarah, you can't do this. I can't afford the loan without you. They'll take my house." I answered, "Hello, Mom. What did you do?" "I requested removal as co-signer." Why would you do that? Because I've been paying your loan for 3 years and you laughed when your grandson threw water on me. This is about the pool water? You're going to destroy my financial life over pool water? This is about respect, something you didn't show me on Saturday. He's a 13-year-old boy. Boys are stupid at that age. And where do they learn to be stupid? From adults who laugh when they throw water on people. From grandmothers who think it's funny. From mothers who say, it's just water, lighten up. I was tipsy. You were watching. You saw him throw water on me. You heard me ask you to teach him manners. And you smirked and told me to lighten up. I didn't think you'd take it so seriously. I take $30,000 seriously. That's what I've paid on your loan while you drank wine and laughed at me being humiliated. Silence. 30,000. 37 months of payments, plus the extras, the emergency repairs you needed, the property tax help. I didn't ask you to pay that much. You asked me to help temporarily, 3.5 years ago. I helped because you're my mother. And you repaid that by laughing when your grandson assaulted me. Assaulted is a strong word. He threw water on me, without my consent, while filming it, then posted it online. That's assault and potentially harassment. But you thought it was hilarious. What do you want? An apology? I don't want anything. That's why I'm removing myself from your loan. You can handle your own financial obligations from now on. I can't afford it without you. My income isn't enough. Then you shouldn't have laughed at me, shouldn't have told me to lighten up, shouldn't have taught your grandson that disrespecting his aunt is acceptable. Sarah, please. I'll talk to Brandon. I'll make him apologize. I don't want his apology. It's 3 days too late and only happening because you need something from me. What about my house? What about my dignity? What about being treated with basic respect? What about not being laughed at when someone throws water on me? It was just water. And this is just a cosigner removal. See how minimizing works? She started crying. You're doing this to punish me. I'm doing this to protect myself from people who think I'm an am they can disrespect. You wanted me to lighten up about water. Now you can lighten up about losing your cosigner. I'll lose my house. Then you'll refinance or sell or figure it out. Like I had to figure out how to get home dripping wet while everyone laughed. That's completely different, is it? You think your house is important, but my dignity isn't. I think they're both important, and I'm choosing to protect mine. I hung up. Jessica called an hour later. Mom's a mess. Can't you just sign whatever she needs? No, she'll lose her house. She'll refinance or establish payment history or adjust her lifestyle. Adults figure these things out. You're being cruel. I'm being clear. I'm done funding people who don't respect me. Over water. Over years of being treated like an am with no feelings. Saturday was just the moment I realized I deserved better. Tom called that evening. The bank says she needs to prove income, get a different cosigner, or refinance by the end of the month. Sounds right. She can't do any of those things. That's unfortunate. Sarah, come on, she's your mother. She's also the woman who laughed when her grandson threw water on me and told me to lighten up when I asked her to correct him. He's a kid, and I'm her daughter, the one who's been paying her bills, who deserve better than being laughed at while dripping wet. So you're taking her house? I'm removing myself from financial responsibility for someone who showed zero responsibility toward me. 30 days later, Mom refinanced with a private lender at a higher interest rate. Her payments went from $620 to $915 a month. Jessica co-signed the new loan. I heard later that Jessica was helping with payments now. That Mom had to cut back on expenses. That Brandon had been made to delete the video. And never got an apology. But I did get something better. Freedom from funding people who thought I was a punchline. And the knowledge that just water cost Mom $300 more every month in loan payments. Sometimes the joke is on them. And this time, I wasn't laughing. I was dry. Sunday dinner at Mom's house was mandatory. Every week, same time, same expectation. My sister Lauren hosted now that Mom had moved into the small apartment attached to Lauren's house. I arrived with my 6-year-old son Daniel at 5:30. Lauren's husband, Greg, was grilling. Their 3 kids were running around the yard. Mom sat on the patio with her wine, directing everything as usual. You're late, Lauren said when we walked in. Traffic. It's Sunday. There's no traffic. Daniel squeezed my hand. He never liked these dinners, too loud, too chaotic, and his cousins ignored him. Go play, I told him gently. He wandered toward the yard where Lauren's kids were kicking a soccer ball. I helped carry food to the outdoor table. Grilled chicken, sides Lauren had picked up from the deli, store-bought rolls. Simple, easy, the kind of dinner that looked effortful wasn't. "How's work?" Mom asked me. "Busy? Good. Still at the hospital?" "Yes, still managing the billing department." "That's nice. Stable." She made stable sound boring. Greg brought the chicken over. "Everyone hungry?" The kids came running. Lauren's oldest 12-year-old Connor pushed past Daniel to get to the table first. Her twins, both 9, climbed over each other for seats. Daniel stood back waiting. Always polite, always patient, always overlooked. "Daniel, sit," I said, pointing to the chair next to me. Connor snorted. "Why does he get to sit by the adults?" "Because I'm his mother and I said so. He should sit at the kids' end. That's where he belongs." Lauren was plating chicken. "Connor, don't be rude." But she was smiling. That little smile that said she agreed but wouldn't say it out loud. We ate. The twins talked over each other about school. Connor complained about his math teacher. Greg discussed a promotion opportunity. Mom praised Lauren's hosting skills. Daniel ate quietly beside me, cutting his chicken into small pieces. "How's school, Daniel?" Mom asked, remembering he existed. "Good, I like reading." "Reading's important," she said, already turning back to Lauren. "So the promotion." Conversation moved on. Daniel went back to being invisible. After dinner, the kids went back outside. I started clearing plates. "Leave those," Lauren said. "Greg will get them later." "I don't mind." I said leave them. I sat back down. Mom refilled her wine. Lauren checked her phone. Greg excused himself to watch sports. Through the window, I could see the kids playing. Connor had the soccer ball. The twins chased him. Daniel stood on the edge of the grass, watching. Connor kicked the ball hard. It bounced off the fence near Daniel. "Get that!" Connor yelled. Daniel picked up the ball and threw it back. Connor caught it and threw it to one of the twins. "You're supposed to kick it, dummy," Connor said. "Don't you know anything?" The twins laughed. Daniel's face turned red. He walked back toward the house. "Sensitive," Lauren observed. "Kids need thicker skin." He's 6. Connor was tougher at 6. Daniel came inside. "Mom, can we go?" "Soon, buddy." "I want to go now. We just finished eating. It's rude to leave right away." He sat beside me, pressed against my side. Connor came in for water. He looked at Daniel. "Why's he always so weird?" "Connor," I said sharply. "What?" "He is. He doesn't play right. He doesn't talk. He just stands there. He's shy. He's weird." Connor filled his water bottle and went back outside. Lauren hadn't corrected him. Mom hadn't said anything. They just sat there, letting the 12-year-old call my son weird. "He could be more social," Mom said finally. "Might help him make friends." "He has friends." "Does he?" Lauren says Connor's never seen him with anyone at school events. Different grades, different classes. Still, a child should be more outgoing. Maybe some activities, sports, something to toughen him up. Daniel pressed harder against me. He heard every word. "He's fine as he is. You're too soft on him," Mom said. "Boys need structure, discipline. My generation knew how to raise strong boys. Your generation also thought hitting kids built character." "Don't be dramatic. I'm just saying he could use some backbone." I stood up. "Daniel, go get your jacket." "Already?" Lauren asked. "It's not even 7. We have things to do." "On a Sunday night?" "Yes." Daniel ran to get his jacket from the hallway. I grabbed my purse. "You're being sensitive," Mom said. "No one meant anything by it." Connor called him weird twice. "You said he needs to toughen up." Lauren called him sensitive. I'd say plenty was meant by it. Boys tease each other. It's normal. Except Connor's your grandson and Daniel's your grandson, and you only defended one of them. Connor appeared in the doorway. He'd been listening. "Grandma, is Aunt Claire leaving because of me?" "No, sweetie," Mom said. "Your aunt is just." Connor looked right at me. Then, slowly and deliberately, he mouthed 2 words while pointing at me. "Trash belongs outside." The twins had come in behind him. They giggled. Lauren's mouth opened, but she said nothing. Mom's face showed surprise, but not disapproval. Greg was still in the living room, oblivious. Connor smirked. The twins smirked. Lauren looked away. Mom took a sip of wine. No one defended me. No one corrected Connor. No one said that was inappropriate, cruel, or completely unacceptable. They just let a 12-year-old call me trash while my son stood in the hallway holding his jacket. I nodded once. You're right. We should go. I took Daniel's hand and walked out. In the car, Daniel was quiet. Too quiet. You okay, buddy? Why did Connor say that about you? Because he's 12 and doesn't understand how words hurt. But nobody told him to stop. I know. Grandma didn't say anything. I know. Does that mean they think you're trash too? What they think doesn't matter. Does it matter what I think? Very much. What do you think? I think you're the best mom, and they're mean. Thank you, buddy. That's all that matters. At home, I got Daniel ready for bed. Read him 2 stories. Tucked him in with his favorite stuffed bear. Then I sat in my living room and opened my banking app. The monthly transfer was due today, same as it had been every month for 7 years. $3,200 every month to Mom's account. I'd set it up when she retired early due to health issues. Her pension wasn't enough to cover expenses. She'd needed help. Just for a while, she'd said, until I get back on my feet. 7 years later, she was still on her feet, living in the apartment attached to Lauren's house, enjoying her retirement, drinking wine on patios while watching her grandson call me trash. $3,200 a month for 84 months. $268,800. Plus the extras, the medical bills I paid, the car I co-signed for, the furniture, the hearing aids, the dental work. Probably $300,000 total, given to a woman who just sat there while her grandson called me trash. My phone buzzed. Mom. Monthly transfer today? Just that. No mention of Connor, no apology, no acknowledgement that anything had happened, just the expectation of money. It typed back, not my concern. 3 little words. I deleted the automatic transfer, removed Mom's account from my saved recipients, closed the banking app. Then I opened my computer and drafted a document. Itemized every payment, every transfer, every bill I covered. 7 years of financial support, documented. I added statements from Mom's medical providers showing I was listed as the financial guarantor, car loan documents with my name as co-signer, receipts for furniture, appliances, hearing aids. Everything that showed Mom's comfortable retirement was funded by the daughter whose son had just been called trash by proxy. I saved the document and went to bed. Monday morning I sent it. Not just to Mom, to everyone. Mom, Lauren, Greg, even my brother Kevin, who lived out of state but usually sided with Lauren on everything. The subject line was simple: Financial Support Documentation 2017 to 2024. The body of the email. Attached, please find complete documentation of financial support provided to Patricia Brennan from November 2017 through November 2024. This includes monthly transfers of $3,200, medical expenses, co-signed loans, and miscellaneous expenses. Total support provided, $302,112. Effective immediately, all support ceases. Monthly transfers, canceled. Co-signed obligations. I am pursuing removal as co-signer through refinancing requirements. Medical guarantor status, revoked with 30 days notice to providers. Mom's current monthly expenses. Apartment rent, 0, lives with Lauren. Car payment, $412, co-signed by me. Car insurance, $208. Health insurance supplement, $360. Utilities, approximately $150. Food and incidentals, approximately $500. Total monthly expenses, approximately $1,630. Mom's monthly income. Social Security, $1,042. Pension, $618. Total monthly income, $1,660. The math works now. She's $30 ahead. She won't need my $3,200 anymore. This decision is final and not open to discussion or negotiation. Claire. I hit send at 8:30 Monday morning. By 9, my phone was ringing. I silenced it. By 10, I had 17 text messages. Mom, we need to talk. Lauren, what is this? You can't just stop supporting Mom. Kevin, this is insane. Call me immediately. Greg, let's be reasonable about this. Lauren again, Mom is crying. You're being cruel. Mom again, please call me. We can work this out. I responded to none of them. At noon, Kevin called from Oregon. I answered. Have you lost your mind? He said instead of hello. No, I've regained it. You can't just cut mom off. I didn't cut her off. I stopped funding her optional lifestyle expenses. She can't survive on $1,600 a month. According to my math, she has exactly $30 extra per month. That's called a balanced budget. What about emergencies? I've handled 7 years of emergencies. Your turn. I have my own family. So do I. A son who watched his grandmother sit quietly while his cousin called me trash. Silence. Connor called me trash last night. Everyone heard. No one said a word. Then mom texted asking for payment. Connor's 12. Old enough that adults should have corrected him. They didn't. So I corrected the situation. By destroying mom's security. By stopping voluntary support after being disrespected. She'll lose her car. Then she doesn't need one sitting in Lauren's apartment. What about quality of life? What about mine? What about Daniel's? He watched his grandmother allow someone to call his mother trash. Connor really said that. While everyone smirked, while my 6-year-old held his jacket. That's not okay. No. And when I stopped funding the people who thought it was okay, suddenly everyone wants to talk about what's reasonable. So you're cutting everyone off? I'm cutting off the money. The family cut me off when they smirked at a child calling me trash. After Kevin, Lauren called, then Greg, then mom again. I let them all go to voicemail. Tuesday morning, I received an email from mom's car lender. She'd missed a payment. She called asking me to cover it. They were reaching out to the cosigner. I called them back. I'm pursuing removal as cosigner. The borrower has sufficient income to cover payments. I'm no longer willing to guarantee this loan. They explained the process. Mom would need to refinance in her name only. If she couldn't qualify, she'd have to surrender the vehicle. Understood, I said. Tuesday afternoon, Lauren showed up at my house. I didn't invite her in. Mom's panicking, she said through the screen door. That's unfortunate. Claire, be reasonable. She needs that money. She needs to live within her means. She's 72. And I'm 38 with a child to raise. A child your son called trash. Connor was just being stupid. And you were silent, which is worse. I didn't know what to say. How about Connor? That's unacceptable. How about apologize right now? How about anything other than smirking? I wasn't smirking. You were smiling. I saw it. Now I'm done. Done with dinners. Done with transfers. Done with family that thinks I'm trash while cashing my checks. What about mom? She'll lose everything. She'll lose the car she barely drives. She'll lose the premium cable package I didn't know I was paying for. She'll lose the wine budget. She'll still have a roof over her head in your apartment. She'll still have food. She'll still have health care. She'll be fine. This is so selfish. This is self-preservation. There's a difference. She left. Wednesday, mom called from Lauren's phone. I answered. Please, she said. I'm sorry. Connor was wrong. I should have said something. Yes, you should have. But cutting off all support? That's so extreme. Is it? More extreme than watching your grandson call me trash? He didn't call you trash. He said trash belongs outside, while pointing at me. What else does that mean? He's a child. Who learned that behavior from the adults around him. Who learned that Aunt Claire is less than. Who learned it's okay to insult her because she'll keep paying anyway. That's not. I never taught him that. You didn't have to use words. You taught it by never defending me. By always taking Lauren's side. By accepting my money while treating me like an obligation instead of a daughter. I love you. Love isn't about words, Mom. It's about actions. Your actions told me I'm worth $3,000 a month, but not worth defending. So now you get neither the money nor the burden of pretending you value me. What can I do to fix this? Nothing. It's not fixable with an apology 7 years too late. It's not fixable with promises to do better. It's done. Please, Claire, I'm your mother. And Daniel's your grandson, the one you watched being hurt and said nothing. I'm protecting him now the way you should have protected me then. I hung up. Thursday morning, I took Daniel to school. When I picked him up, he was smiling. Good day, I asked. Really good. I didn't think about Sunday at all. That's wonderful, buddy. Are we still going to Grandma's for dinner? No. No more Sunday dinners. Ever. Not for a while. Good. I didn't like them anyway. Why didn't you tell me? Because you said family was important. I didn't want to make you sad. Family is important, but we get to choose what family means, and it doesn't mean spending time with people who hurt us. Even if they're related. especially if they're related. Being family doesn't excuse cruelty. Okay, can we have our own Sunday dinners? Just us. Absolutely. What do you want to eat? Pizza, and we can watch movies, and nobody will call us weird. Perfect. That Sunday, Daniel and I ordered pizza, watched 2 movies, played board games, laughed without worrying about who was listening. No 12-year-olds calling anyone trash. No grandmothers asking for money. No mandatory dinners pretending everything was fine. Just us, just peace, just a family of 2 who actually valued each other. On Monday, the 8th day since I'd stopped the transfer, I checked my phone. No messages from Mom asking for money. She figured out how to live within her means. Trash had taught itself to stay outside. And inside, where it was warm and safe and kind, Daniel and I were finally home. The bridal shower was at the winery, my sister Holly's winery, technically. The family business that had been passed down through Mom's side, now run by Holly and her husband, Grant. I'd been invited, despite everything. Despite years of being the sister who moved away, who chose a different life, who didn't stay to work in the family business. The invitation had been formal, cream cardstock, elegant script. Bridal shower for Melissa Hartley, daughter of Holly Hartley. Sunday, 2 p.m., Sunset Ridge Winery. Holly's daughter, my niece, getting married at 23, just like Holly had. I'd driven 3 hours to attend, bought an expensive gift, a full set of artisan cookware, worn my best dress, a cream-colored silk that had cost me $400. It was beautiful, elegant, the kind of thing you wore to important family events. The winery looked stunning. String lights over the patio, white tablecloths, flowers everywhere. About 30 women gathered, sipping wine from the family vineyard and eating catered appetizers. Everything perfect, as Holly always insisted things be. Mom was there, holding court at the center table. 75 years old, still elegant, still commanding attention, still preferring Holly over me even after all these years. Amanda, she said when I arrived. Not warm, just acknowledgement. No hug, no real smile. Hi, Mom. You made it. Holly wasn't sure you'd come. I wouldn't miss Melissa's shower. Of course. Well, sit anywhere. Anywhere meant not at the center tables. Not near Mom, not where Holly's friends gathered. I found a seat at the edge, near some of Melissa's friends, young women I didn't know. Holly's friends occupied the center tables near Mom. The shower was typical. Games, gifts, laughter. I participated politely, smiled, drank water instead of wine because I had to drive home. Holly kept circling, playing hostess. She barely acknowledged me beyond a wave when I arrived, too busy managing the event, making sure everything was perfect, being the daughter Mom preferred. The winery was Holly's identity. She'd married young, stayed local, taken over operations when our grandfather retired. Built it into something successful, wine tastings, event venue, local reputation. I'd gone to college, moved to the city, became a corporate attorney, made good money but wasn't part of the family legacy. Mom never forgave me for leaving. Holly never forgave me for making a different choice that somehow reflected badly on hers. The gift opening was traditional. Melissa oohed and ahed appropriately. My gift, expensive kitchen equipment, was well received but not particularly remarked upon. After gifts, the catering staff began clearing tables. Women mingled, refilling wine glasses and taking photos. I was standing near the gift table when Holly approached. Amanda, good to see you. Her smile was tight. Holly, beautiful event. We try. The winery's been doing well, booked solid for weddings all summer. That's wonderful. Yes, though it's been challenging managing everything. Mom's not involved anymore, obviously her arthritis. So it's all on me and Grant. I'm sure you're doing great. She held her wine glass, red wine from the vineyard. You know, Mom was asking about you. Was she? Wondering when you'll settle down, get married, give her grandchildren. Oh wait, she has grandchildren, mine. Holly. I'm just saying, you left for your big career. Mom stayed here. I stayed here. We built this. She gestured around. While you were in the city doing whatever lawyers do. I support myself. I'm successful, just differently. Sure, differently. While I'm here 7 days a week managing the business that feeds this family. Several women had stopped talking. They were listening. Holly, maybe we shouldn't. Shouldn't what? Acknowledge that you abandoned the family, that you were too good for the winery, that Mom had to watch you reject everything she built. I didn't reject anything. I chose a different career. You chose to leave. Holly's voice was rising, the wine in her glass sloshing slightly. Mom was watching from her table, not intervening. Holly, let's not do this at Melissa's shower. Why not? She barely knows you. You're the aunt who visits once a year and sends expensive gifts to make up for never being here. I'm here now. Because you were invited, not because you care. That's not fair. Holly stepped closer, her wine glass tilted. I thought it was accidental at first, the glass tipping forward, the red wine spilling out. But then I saw her eyes, the deliberate loosening of her grip, the intentional angle. The wine splash across my dress, the cream silk, down the front across my chest, soaking into the expensive fabric. Red wine, permanent stains, instantly ruined. I stood there, wine dripping down my dress, the cold liquid seeping through to my skin. Holly looked at me. Oops, my bad. Then she giggled. Actually giggled. The women around us started laughing, awkward at first, then more confidently, following Holly's lead. Mom was watching, just watching, not standing up, not saying anything, not defending me. Holly, one of her friends started. It was an accident, Holly said, still giggling. I'm so clumsy. Amanda, I'm so sorry. But she wasn't sorry. Her eyes were bright with satisfaction. My dress, I said quietly, it's just wine. It'll wash out. Probably. More giggling. This is silk. This is ruined. Well, maybe don't wear such expensive clothes to a winery. Wine happens, she shrugged, smiling at her friends. They laughed harder. Mom finally spoke. Holly, get your sister a towel. Not apologize. Not that was inappropriate. Just get a towel. Sure, Mom. Holly walked away, still smiling. I looked down at my dress, the red wine spreading, staining, destroying $400 of silk. Melissa came over. Aunt Amanda, I'm so sorry. Mom didn't mean. It's fine. Let me help. It's fine. I should go. I walked to my car, wine-stained, humiliated. Holly's laughter following me. Nobody stopped me. Nobody apologized properly. Nobody acknowledged that Holly had deliberately ruined my dress at her daughter's bridal shower while her mother watched. I drove home in my wine-soaked dress, 3 hours with the windows down, the smell of red wine filling my car. At home, I tried to clean the dress. Ran cold water over it, applied stain remover, soaked it. Nothing worked. The silk was ruined. The wine had set. $400 destroyed because Holly wanted to make a point about my life choices. I hung the ruined dress in my closet. Evidence. A reminder of what my family thought of me. Then I checked my mail. The envelope was there, from Whitmore and Associates, the law firm handling estate transfers. Thick manila envelope, official letterhead, requiring a signature. I'd been expecting it. Had actually forgotten about it with the shower happening that weekend. Mom was transferring the winery property to Holly. Making it official. Making Holly the sole owner instead of keeping it in the family trust where it had been for 40 years. But there was a complication, one Mom and Holly had probably forgotten about. Grandfather's will had specified that any transfer of the winery property required the unanimous consent of all direct descendants. That meant Mom's signature as current trustee, Holly's signature as recipient, and mine. I'd inherited the same legal rights as Holly under grandfather's will. Equal rights, equal share, equal say. I'd never exercised them, never interfered with Holly's management, never challenged her decisions or asked for profit distributions. But I had to consent to the transfer. Without my signature, nothing could proceed. I opened the packet, property transfer documents, quitclaim deed, trust dissolution papers. Multiple pages requiring my notarized signature to release my inheritance rights and allow Mom to transfer full ownership to Holly. There was a cover letter from Mom's attorney. Ms. Brennan, please review and sign the enclosed documents at your earliest convenience. Mrs. Hartwell wishes to complete this transfer by month's end to coincide with the winery's 45th anniversary. Your prompt attention is appreciated. Prompt attention. They needed my signature. Without it, the transfer couldn't happen. Holly couldn't become sole owner. The property would remain in the trust, jointly owned by all of us under grandfather's will. I looked at my wine-stained dress hanging in the closet. I called the attorney's office Monday morning. Whitmore and Associates. This is Amanda Brennan. I'm calling about the winery property transfer documents. Yes, Ms. Brennan. We sent those last week. Have you had a chance to review them? I have. Wonderful. Can you come in to sign, or would you prefer we arrange a notary to come to you? Neither. I'm declining to sign. Silence. I'm sorry, declining? I'm not consenting to the transfer. I'm exercising my rights under my grandfather's will to maintain my ownership interest in the property. Ms. Brennan, I'm not sure you understand. This is just a formality. Your mother and sister have already agreed, and I'm declining, which means the transfer can't proceed without unanimous consent, which I'm withholding. May I ask why? That's between me and my family. Ms. Brennan, this will complicate the estate planning significantly. That's unfortunate. My decision is final. Your mother and sister will be very disappointed. They'll be informed by your office, I assume. Good day. I hung up. Within an hour, Holly called. I didn't answer. She called 5 more times. Then Mom called. I answered. Amanda, what is this nonsense about not signing the papers? It's not nonsense. It's my legal right. Your legal right? The winery is Holly's. She's run it for 20 years, and she can continue running it. But I'm not signing over my ownership interest. Why would you do this? Because Sunday, Holly threw wine on my $400 dress, giggled, and you sat there watching. Then her friends laughed, and nobody apologized. That's what this is about, a dress. That's what it's about, respect, which I didn't receive. Holly said it was an accident. Holly deliberately poured wine on me while making a speech about how I abandoned the family. That wasn't an accident. That was calculated humiliation. You're being dramatic. I'm being clear. I won't sign documents for people who treat me like trash. Amanda, this is the family business. You can't hold it hostage over hurt feelings. I'm not holding it hostage. I'm exercising my legal rights. If Holly wants sole ownership, she can buy out my share. Buy you out? With what money? That sounds like a Holly problem. She owns a successful winery. Surely she can arrange financing. You know wineries operate on thin margins. We can't afford to buy you out. Then I remain a co-owner, as grandfather intended, as his will specifies. This is cruel. Cruel is watching your daughter pour wine on your other daughter and doing nothing. Cruel is allowing your granddaughter's bridal shower to become a humiliation event. Cruel is valuing one daughter over the other for 20 years. I don't. You do. You always have. Holly stayed. I left. That makes her the good daughter and me the bad one. Even when the good daughter throws wine on me, you sit there silent. Holly was upset. Holly was vindictive. There's a difference. Mom hung up. Holly called from her husband's phone. I answered. Amanda, this is insane. You can't block this transfer. I can. I am. Over a stupid dress? Over deliberate disrespect. It was an accident. It was punishment for not being you, for making different choices, for leaving. You're going to destroy the winery over this? I'm not destroying anything. You can keep running it. I just won't be signing away my inheritance rights to someone who pours wine on me. That's blackmail. That's consequence. You want me to happily sign over my share of the family business after you've humiliated me? No. What do you want? Money? Is that what this is? I want nothing from you. Then sign the papers. No. I'm keeping my ownership share. As grandfather intended, he wanted all his grandchildren to have equal rights to the property. I'm exercising mine. You don't even care about the winery. Neither do you, apparently, or you'd have treated me better. She hung up. The attorney called. Ms. Brennan, perhaps we can schedule a mediation. No mediation. My decision is final. Your mother is quite distressed. My mother watched her daughter assault me with wine and said nothing. She'll survive some distress. This will tie up the estate indefinitely. Then it's tied up. Grandfather made unanimous consent a requirement for a reason. Perhaps he knew families like ours needed checks and balances. This seems quite vindictive. This seems quite legal. Are we done? He sighed. If you change your mind, I won't. 3 weeks later, Mom called from Holly's phone. Amanda, please, we need to resolve this. There's nothing to resolve. I'm exercising my rights. Holly wants to apologize. Holly wanted to humiliate me. She succeeded. Apologies don't undo that. She was wrong. I was wrong. Please. You were wrong, and you did nothing. You sat there and watched your daughter pour wine on me while her friends laughed. You chose her. Again. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough. 20 years of choosing Holly over me. 20 years of making me feel like I was wrong for choosing differently. And the one time I show up, I get wine poured on me for my trouble. What can we do? Nothing. The winery stays in the trust. Holly can keep running it, but she doesn't get sole ownership. She gets to share it with the sister she humiliated for the rest of her life. Amanda. I have to go, Mom. I have a winery to co-own. I hung up. The winery remained in the trust. Holly continued managing it, but with the knowledge that I owned an equal share. That every decision, every profit, every success was partially mine. I never visited again, never attended another event, never signed those papers. Holly got to run the family business, but she had to share it with the sister whose dress she ruined. And every time she poured wine at a tasting, I hope she remembered the wine she poured on me. The one that cost her sole ownership of everything she worked for. Oops. My bad. Now nobody's laughing. The pain had started Friday morning. Sharp, localized, getting worse. By afternoon, I couldn't stand up straight. By evening, I was in the emergency room. Appendicitis, the doctor said. It's inflamed. We need to operate tonight. It could rupture. How serious? Very. If it ruptures, you could die from sepsis. We need to go now. I called my sister Diane first. No answer. Left a voicemail. I'm at Memorial Hospital. Emergency appendectomy. They're taking me to surgery soon. Can you come? Call my brother Marcus. No answer. Same voicemail. Call Dad, he answered. Dad, I'm at the hospital. Appendicitis. They're doing emergency surgery. Tonight? Right now. They say it could rupture. Oh, well, Diane's having her party tonight. The yacht thing. We're all getting ready. I'm having surgery, Dad. Right. Well, you'll be fine. Diane spent months planning this party. I'll call you tomorrow. He hung up. The nurse came to prep me. Any family coming? No. They have a party. She looked at me with sympathy. You'll be okay. We'll take good care of you. I went into surgery alone, woke up alone, spent Friday night alone in a hospital room, nauseated from anesthesia, incision burning, pressing the morphine button every 10 minutes. Saturday morning, the nurses checked on me, changed my IV, and brought terrible food I couldn't eat. No visitors. Saturday afternoon, I slept. Woke up disoriented. Pressed the call button when the pain got bad. Watched daytime television with the sound off. No visitors. Saturday evening, a different nurse asked, anyone coming to see you? My family's busy. I'm sorry, you're doing great though. Recovery looks good. I dozed through Saturday night. Woke Sunday to more pain medication, more terrible food, more daytime television. Still no visitors. My phone sat on the side table, charging. I hadn't looked at it. Hadn't had the energy. The hospital had called my emergency contacts after surgery. Someone had been notified. Nobody came. Sunday afternoon, feeling slightly more human, I reached for my phone. 73 missed calls. 42 text messages. I scrolled through, confused. Most of the calls were from Saturday, yesterday. All from family, Dad, Diane, Marcus, Diane's husband, Marcus's wife. Over and over. But none on Friday night when I was in surgery. The texts were similar. Call me. Need to talk. This is urgent. Where are you? Then I saw Dad's message, sent Saturday afternoon. Where are the monthly payments? The trust distribution didn't come through. Call immediately. Not, how's your recovery? Not, are you okay after surgery? Where are the monthly payments? I opened Instagram, something I rarely did, but Diane posted everything there. Her feed was full of photos from Friday night, the yacht party. 30 people on a rented yacht in the harbor. Champagne, catered food, dancing, everyone dressed in white. Posted at 8 p.m. Friday, while I was in surgery. More photos at 9 p.m. while I was in recovery. More at 10 p.m. while I was pressing the morphine button alone. Everyone was there. Dad, Marcus, Diane's husband, Marcus's wife, cousins, aunts, uncles, friends. The caption, celebrating life and family, best night ever. While I was having emergency surgery, I put the phone down, stared at the hospital ceiling. 40 years old, unmarried, no kids. I'd built a career in finance, made good money, invested well. When Grandma died and left me as trustee of the family trust, I'd taken it seriously. Grandma's estate had been substantial, $2 million. The trust was supposed to provide for the family, support them, help them thrive. I'd structured monthly distributions. Dad got $3,000. Diane got $4,000. Marcus got $3,500. Various cousins got smaller amounts. $10,500 distributed monthly from trust income and principal drawdown. $126,000 annually. For 10 years. $1,260,000. Given to family who couldn't visit me during emergency surgery because they were at a yacht party. A yacht party that probably cost $15,000, paid for by trust money I distributed. I picked up my phone and called the trust attorney, Lawrence Mitchell. Victoria, how are you? I'm in the hospital. Emergency surgery Friday night. I need you to do something. Of course. What do you need? I need you to restructure the trust, immediately. What kind of restructuring? Stop all monthly distributions, all of them, effective immediately. Victoria, that's a significant change. The beneficiaries depend on those funds. The beneficiaries didn't visit me in the hospital. They went to a yacht party while I was in surgery. They called 73 times asking about money. Not once asking about my health. I see. Can you stop the distributions? As trustee, you have discretion, but you should document the reasons. Create a paper trail. The reason is that I almost died alone on Friday while they partied. That's documented on Instagram. That would qualify as changed circumstances affecting your ability to serve as trustee. If you're questioning whether beneficiaries have the family's best interest at heart, you can suspend distributions pending review. Do it. Stop everything, today. It's Sunday. Tomorrow then, first thing. No more monthly payments. This will cause significant disruption. Good. They can experience some disruption while I'm disrupted by, surgery. I'll draft the paperwork Monday morning. You'll need to sign. I'll sign from my hospital bed. After Lawrence hung up, I called the hospital social worker and explained that I needed notary services. She arranged for someone to come Monday morning. Then I typed a response to Dad's text. Check the trust fund. That was all. Just those 4 words. I turned off my phone and went back to sleep. Monday morning, I signed the paperwork. Lawrence had emailed everything. Trust amendment, distribution suspension, change of trustee powers. I signed it all with a hospital pen while a nurse watched my blood pressure. Everything okay? She asked. Getting better. Lawrence filed everything Monday afternoon and sent notification letters to all beneficiaries. The trust distributions scheduled for the first of the month wouldn't happen. I turned my phone back on Monday evening. 116 missed calls. 87 text messages. I ignored them all. Tuesday morning, Diane showed up. Actually showed up, in my hospital room, 4 days after my surgery. Victoria. Diane. What did you do? Had emergency surgery. You might have seen that on your calendar. Oh wait, you were busy. I mean the trust. Lawrence sent a letter. Distribution suspended? That's correct. Why? Why do you think? You can't just stop the payments. We depend on that money. You depended on me Friday night. I was having emergency surgery. You threw a yacht party. That was planned months ago, and I was having my appendix removed because it was about to rupture and kill me. Funny how emergencies work. We didn't know it was that serious. Dad knew. I called him. He said you'd spent months planning the party so he couldn't miss it. He didn't tell me you called. Why would he? You were busy celebrating life and family. I saw the Instagram caption. Very touching. Don't be dramatic. I'm in a hospital bed with an incision in my abdomen. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being factual. So you're punishing us? I'm protecting the trust. Grandma left it for family who cared about each other. You proved Friday night that you don't care about me. So I'm restructuring. You can't do this. I'm the trustee. I can absolutely do this. What about my mortgage? My car payment? What about them? I can't afford them without the trust. Then you probably shouldn't have rented a yacht for $15,000. How do you know what it cost? I'm a finance professional, Diane. I know what things cost. And I know you used last month's distribution to throw a party while I almost died. You didn't almost die. My appendix was ready to rupture. The surgeon said I could have died from sepsis. And you were drinking champagne on a boat. She started crying. This isn't fair. You're right, it's not fair. It wasn't fair that I lay in this hospital alone, that I woke up from surgery alone, that I spent 3 days here without a single visitor, that the only calls I got were about money. We were going to visit. When? After you finished spending the money I gave you. After you posted all your Instagram photos? Victoria, please, leave. But, leave. I'm recovering from surgery. I'm tired. And I'm done. She left, still crying. Dad came Tuesday afternoon. Victoria, Dad, we need to talk about the trust. No, we need to talk about Friday night. That was a misunderstanding. What was the misunderstanding? I called you from the emergency room. Told you I was having surgery. You said Diane's party was more important. I didn't say that. You said she'd spent months planning it. That you'd call me tomorrow. Then you went to the party. I thought you'd be fine. What if I hadn't been? What if something had gone wrong? What if I died in surgery? Don't be morbid. I'm being realistic. Emergency surgery is serious. People die. You chose a party over your daughter's life. That's not fair. It's completely fair. And now you're here because the money stopped, not because you care how I'm recovering. Of course I care. Your first message was about payments, not about my health. Payments. The trust supports the whole family. The trust supported a family that cared about each other, that showed up for each other, that visited each other in the hospital. You failed every requirement. So you're taking it all away. I'm suspending distributions until I determine whether the beneficiaries deserve them. You can't judge us. I'm the trustee. That's literally my job. Your grandmother would be ashamed. My grandmother would be ashamed that her son chose a yacht party over his daughter's emergency surgery. She'd be ashamed that her family couldn't be bothered to visit the hospital. She'd be ashamed that you all cared more about money than me. He left. Marcus came Tuesday evening. Vic, this is crazy. What's crazy is that you're the third family member to visit, and you're only here because the money stopped. That's not true. Marcus, you have 73 missed calls on your record. All of them about the trust. None of them asking how I'm doing. I was worried. About money. You were worried about money. About you. Then why didn't you visit Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday? He couldn't answer. I was at the party. I know. I saw the photos. You looked like you were having fun. I didn't know you were that sick. Yes, you did. Dad knew. He told everyone. You all chose the party anyway. What do you want from us? Nothing. That's the point. I don't want anything. Not visits out of obligation. Not apologies because the money stopped. Nothing. So the trust is just over? The automatic distributions are over. If you need money, you can apply for it. Document the need. Explain why you can't fund it yourself. I'll review it. That's humiliating. So is lying in a hospital alone while your family parties. He left too. I was discharged Wednesday, took a taxi home, walked carefully up to my apartment, slept in my own bed. The calls and texts continued, begging, pleading, threatening. I blocked most of them. Lawrence called Thursday. The beneficiaries are hiring an attorney. They want to challenge your trustee authority. Let them. Document that they didn't visit during emergency surgery. That I called them beforehand. That they chose a party. That their first contact was about money. They're claiming emotional distress. So am I. Mine's better documented. I have hospital records proving I was alone. This could get ugly. It's already ugly. I almost died alone because they were on a yacht. 2 weeks later, their attorney sent a letter requesting mediation, claimed I was acting vindictively. I sent back Diane's Instagram posts, timestamped, showing the yacht party happening during my surgery. Their attorney didn't push further. The monthly distributions stayed suspended. I restructured the trust, set up an application process, required documentation, established oversight. If they wanted money, they had to ask, justify, explain. The way they should have asked how I was doing. The way they should have justified missing my surgery. The way they should have explained choosing a party over their family. 6 months later, I was fully recovered. The scar had faded. The pain was gone. The trust was still frozen. Diane applied for funds. I denied it. Marcus applied. I approved a small amount for his daughter's school. Dad applied. I denied it. They learned what I'd learned in the hospital room. That family means showing up. That love means more than Instagram posts. That celebrations ring hollow when they cost someone everything. The yacht party photos are still online. 30 people in white, drinking champagne, celebrating life and family. While I lay in a hospital bed alone, recovering from surgery that could have killed me. They thought I'd never know, or never care, or never have the power to do anything about it. They were wrong about all three. And now, when they check the trust fund like I told them to, they find exactly what they gave me Friday night. Nothing. The video interview was scheduled for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, a director-level position at my company, a promotion I've been working toward for 3 years, a salary increase of $30,000, remote work flexibility, team leadership role, management of 12 people. I prepared for weeks, updated my portfolio, rehearsed answers, practiced with a career coach, set up my home office perfectly, professional background with my diplomas and awards visible, good lighting from 3 angles, camera at eye level. I tested the technology multiple times. Tuesday morning, I did a final check. Everything was perfect. Laptop charged, backup laptop ready. Backup internet hotspot prepared in case Wi-Fi failed. Professional blazer laid out with 3 backup options. Notes organized in clear folders. Water glass positioned perfectly. Breath mints ready. At 1:30, I changed into the blazer, touched up my makeup, and did one more tech check. Logged in early to make sure everything worked. Did a test recording. Perfect. At 1:45, my doorbell rang. I checked the video doorbell. My sister, Jennifer, with her 7-year-old son, Mason, both sweaty, looking annoyed. I opened the door. Jennifer? What are you doing here? We were in the neighborhood. Thought we'd visit. I have a really important interview in 15 minutes. I can't visit right now. We'll be quiet. Mason just needs somewhere to hang out for a bit. My car's overheating. Need to let it cool down. Can you wait at the coffee shop down the street? I really can't have anyone here during this interview. It's hot outside. Mason needs to be inside. She pushed past me, Mason following, both immediately turning up the air conditioning. Jennifer, seriously. This interview is critical. I've been preparing for weeks. We'll stay in a living room. You won't even know we're here. My home office opens to the living room. You'll be visible on camera, so close the door. The door is glass. You'll still be visible and audible. She waved her hand dismissively. It's fine. We'll be quiet. Mason, sit on the couch and play on your tablet. Jennifer. Emma, relax. It's just an interview. They won't care if your family is home. It's a director-level position. I need to appear professional. You are professional. Having family home doesn't change that. Stop being so uptight. I checked the time. 1:50. 10 minutes. Please, just go to the coffee shop. I'll give you money, my treat. Just please give me an hour. Mason's already settled. We're staying. Just do your interview. We'll be quiet. I went into my office and closed the glass door. Through it, I could see Jennifer on her phone and Mason on the couch with his tablet. At 1:55, I logged into the video call, checked my background. Jennifer visible in the distance. I angled the camera. Better, but not great. At 2 p.m., the panel joined. 3 executives. The VP of Operations, the head of Human Resources, and my potential new boss. Hello, Emma. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for the opportunity. We've reviewed your work. Very impressive. We wanted to discuss your vision for the department. I started my prepared answer. 30 seconds in, I heard Mason. Mom, I'm bored. I kept talking, raising my voice slightly to cover the background noise. As you can see in my portfolio. Mom, my tablet died. I paused. I apologize. My nephew is visiting unexpectedly. No problem, the VP said. Family happens. I continued. As I was saying, the portfolio demonstrates a crash, loud. It turned. Mason had knocked over my floor lamp. It lay across the floor, the bulb shattered. Mason, Jennifer's voice. Be careful. I'm bored. There's nothing to do. Just sit still for a few minutes. I turned back to the camera. I'm so sorry. Could you excuse me for just one moment? I muted myself and opened the glass door. Jennifer, you need to leave, now. We can't. The car. Take an Uber. Walk. I don't care. This interview is too important. He's just a kid. They'll understand. They understand unprofessionalism. Please leave. You're being ridiculous. It's fine. Mason had wandered to my office door, started touching my bookshelf, pulling books out. Mason, stop. Don't touch those. I'm bored. Then entertain yourself quietly. I can't. There's nothing to do. I looked at Jennifer. Can you please take him outside, even just to the parking lot, for 30 minutes? It's hot outside. He needs to stay inside where it's cool. He needs entertainment, she added, as if that explained everything. As if his boredom was my responsibility to solve during a critical career interview. I'm in the middle of a job interview. She shrugged, actually shrugged. So, we'll stay out of your way. Just ignore us. Mason had now opened my filing cabinet and was pulling out folders, papers scattering across the floor. Mason, stop. I grabbed the folders from him. I'm bored. I don't care. Stop touching things. He started crying, loud, theatrical crying. I looked at the camera. The executives were watching this chaos. I unmuted. I sincerely apologize. I'm going to need to reschedule. Emma, we have a tight timeline, the HR director said. We're making this decision by the end of the week. Can you continue? Give me 5 minutes, please. I muted again. Jennifer, you need to leave right now. Take him outside. Wait by the pool. Wait in your car. I don't care if it's hot. This is my career. You're being dramatic. They said it's fine. It's not fine. He's destroyed my office. He's crying on camera. This looks completely unprofessional. He's 7. He's bored. You should have activities for kids if you're going to have us over. I didn't invite you over. You showed up during my interview. We needed somewhere to go, and I needed professional space. Mason was now at my desk. He grabbed my water bottle and spilled it across my notes. Mason, I grabbed the bottle. My notes were soaked. It was an accident. You're not supposed to be in here at all. Jennifer stood up. Fine, we're leaving. Sorry for being such an inconvenience. You are an inconvenience. This was the most important interview of my career, and you've completely sabotaged it. Sabotaged? We just needed to cool off for a few minutes. You're acting like we committed a crime. You showed up uninvited during an interview, let your son destroy my office, and refused to leave. That's not helping. That's sabotaging. He's bored, Emma. Kids get bored. You don't have kids, so you don't understand. I understand boundaries. I understand respecting people's time. I understand that when someone says they can't visit, you don't force yourself in any way. She grabbed Mason's hand. Come on, your aunt doesn't want us here. They left. I cleaned up the spilled water, the broken lamp, the scattered papers, my soaked notes. I returned to the interview. I'm so sorry about that. No problem, the VP said, though his expression suggested otherwise. Shall we continue? We did. I stumbled through answers without my notes, tried to regain professionalism, and felt the opportunity slipping away with every response. The interview ended early. We'll be in touch, they said. Code 4. We've seen enough. I sat in my destroyed office, broken lamp, wet papers, books scattered, filing cabinet open. Certain I'd blown the opportunity. Wednesday morning, I got the email. Dear Emma, we're pleased to offer you the Director of Operations position. I read it 3 times. They'd chosen me anyway, despite the chaos, despite Mason, despite everything. Salary increase. Remote work approved. Start date in 2 weeks. I'd gotten the promotion. I sat there stunned. Then I opened my laptop and started apartment hunting. Because if Jennifer thought she could show up at my home unannounced during critical work moments and face no consequences, she was wrong. I needed a place where work was protected, where boundaries were enforced, where uninvited family couldn't just appear and destroy my professional space. By Wednesday evening, I'd toured 3 apartments. By Thursday, I'd applied to 2. By Friday, I was approved for a 1-bedroom in a building across town, secured entry, concierge, no unannounced visitors. I signed the lease Saturday, move-in date in 2 weeks, the same day I started the new position. A fresh start, both professionally and personally. I didn't tell my family I was moving. The move itself was quiet. Professional movers. 2 weeks later, I was in my new apartment. Furnished, organized, secure. I updated my address with my employer, my bank, and my insurance. I left my family with the old address. Tuesday evening, my phone rang. Jennifer. Hey, Mason wants to see you. Can we come over? I'm busy. How about tomorrow? Also busy. This weekend? Not available. Emma, what's going on? We haven't seen you in weeks. I've been busy with the new job. Right, the promotion. Congrats on that, by the way, despite the chaos during your interview. She laughed. like it was a fond memory, like she hadn't sabotaged a critical career moment. Thanks. So when can we visit? Mason misses you, and I want to see how you're celebrating the new position. I'm not having visitors right now. We're not visitors. We're family. Family that shows up uninvited during interviews and destroys my office. Oh, come on. That was weeks ago. You got the job anyway. No harm done. No harm? Jennifer, Mason broke my lamp, spilled water on my documents, scattered my files, and cried loudly during the interview. You refused to leave despite me begging you. You said he needed entertainment while I was trying to save my career. He was bored. What was I supposed to do? Leave, like I asked you to, multiple times. We needed somewhere cool to stay, and I needed professional space. Your needs aren't more important than mine. I'm your sister. You're supposed to help me. Help doesn't include destroying my office during the job interview. I didn't destroy anything. Mason accidentally knocked over a lamp, and pulled out files, and spilled water, and cried, while you shrugged and said he needed entertainment. You're really still mad about that? I'm establishing boundaries about that. What boundaries? The kind where you don't get to visit my home anymore. Silence. You're not letting us visit. Correct. Because of one bad afternoon? Because you showed up uninvited, ignored my clearly stated needs, let your child destroy my workspace, and treated my career like an inconvenience to your schedule. That's insane. We're family. Family respects boundaries. You don't. Where are you living now anyway? I tried to stop by your place and some other people are living there. I moved. You moved? When? 2 weeks ago. And you didn't tell me? No. Why not? Because I don't want you showing up uninvited at my new place like you did at the old one. You're seriously not going to tell me where you live? Correct. What if there's an emergency? You have my phone number. Emma, this is ridiculous. You can't just cut us out because of one afternoon. I'm not cutting you out. I'm protecting my space. There's a difference. What about Mason? He wants to see his aunt. Mason can see me in public places, with advance notice, not in my home. You're punishing a 7-year-old? I'm establishing boundaries with a 34-year-old who brought her 7-year-old to my home during a scheduled interview and refused to leave despite repeated requests. This is insane. This is consequences. You want to visit? You need to respect boundaries. Show up uninvited during work, you lose home access. I'll tell Mom. Tell her. Maybe she'll understand boundaries better than you do. She hung up. Mom called an hour later. Emma, Jennifer says you won't let her visit your new apartment. That's correct. Why not? Because she showed up uninvited during my promotion interview and let Mason destroy my office. She said there was a small accident with a lamp. She minimized it. He broke a lamp, spilled water on documents, scattered files, and cried during the video call. She refused to leave. Said he needed entertainment while I was interviewing. Well, kids do get bored, and adults doing important work deserve respect, which Jennifer didn't show. So you're punishing her by hiding where you live? I'm protecting my space by not sharing my address with someone who's proven they don't respect boundaries. That seems extreme. What's extreme is showing up during a scheduled interview and refusing to leave. She needed help. She needed to respect my time. She didn't. Now she doesn't get access to my home. You're being very cold about this. I'm being very clear about this. Boundaries matter. Respect matters. Professional space matters. Family should matter more. Family that respects me does matter. Family that treats my career as an inconvenience doesn't get home privileges. She's your sister. And I'm a person with a career who deserves basic respect, which I didn't get. Mom sighed. Fine, be stubborn, but don't come crying to us when you need something. I won't need to. I have a promotion, a great apartment, and clear boundaries. She hung up. My new apartment is beautiful. 10th floor. City views. Secure entry that requires a key fob and concierge approval. No one shows up unannounced. My home office is perfect. Professional background. No glass doors to the living room. Soundproof walls. I've had 3 video meetings since moving in, all flawless. No broken lamps, no spilled water. No crying children, no sisters shrugging about entertainment needs. Just professional space. Protected space. Last week, Jennifer texted, Mason's birthday party is next month. Will you come? Or are we too unworthy for your presence now? I replied, I'll come, at the venue, with other guests. See you there. Public spaces. With boundaries. With witnesses. With other people to entertain Mason. But my home? My professional space? My sanctuary? That's mine. Funny how boundaries work when you enforce them with locked doors and undisclosed addresses. Funny how respect matters when career opportunities are on the line. Funny how a promotion and a new apartment can solve problems that conversation couldn't. Jennifer wanted me to entertain Mason. Now she can entertain herself with the consequences. And I can work in peace.